All right, today we are jumping right into a real Hollywood firestorm. It all started when actor Kristen Stewart called the film industry a capitalist hell. And boy, the response was just as intense. Let's break down what this fight is really all about.
Okay, so this right here, this is the quote that basically set the internet on fire. Stewart's accusation from a podcast interview doesn't just poke at Hollywood, it takes a sledgehammer to its very foundation.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll look at the initial accusation, then the really sharp rebuttal, the proposed solution of going indie, and finally, we'll get to the core clash. Is it the system's fault, or is it about personal accountability?
Okay, let's kick things off with that one phrase that really got everyone talking. What did Kristen Stewart actually mean when she called Hollywood a capitalist hell? So what she's really getting at is this. She feels the whole structure of modern filmmaking makes it almost impossible for creators to just tell their stories freely. She sees it as a system that's pretty much designed to stifle unique voices, not support them.
All right, so moving on. Beyond just that one big label, what are the specific problems she's pointing to? What's her case against the system?
Well, it really boils down to this handful of core criticisms. She's painting this picture of a system that she believes is just fundamentally hostile to anything that isn't a guaranteed blockbuster. It's too exclusive, and in her words, it's biased against women, marginalized voices, and is racist.
Now, as you can imagine, this did not go unanswered. A group of commentators had let's say, a very different and very direct take on all of this.
And they did not mince words. Their immediate reaction was to call it a bullshit victim mentality. So yeah, they're not seeing this as a valid critique of the system, but more as a problem with an individual's outlook, an excuse, not an explanation.
And you can see here just how directly these two ideas clash. When faced with the claim Hollywood is racist, their counter-argument was to point to a major modern success story like director Ryan Coogler, arguing that, yeah, incredible individual talent absolutely can and does break through.
And they didn't stop there. They took on the charge of misogyny head-on. Their argument is that actually, the industry isn't hostile to women. In fact, they claim the best position to be in right now is to be a woman trying to get a film made.
So for them, it all boils down to one thing. Does the movie connect with people? In their view, if a film tanks, it's not because the system is out to get you. It's because the story, for whatever reason, just didn't land with the audience. Okay, so if the big Hollywood machine is the problem, what's the solution? Well, that leads us to their big proposal for any artist feeling frustrated or shut out.
And their advice is actually pretty straightforward. Forget trying to change Hollywood. The idea is to just bypass it completely. Scrape together the money, find your investors, and go make the movie you want to make. That, they say, is what indie film is all about.
And this really gets to the heart of their philosophy. They're saying, hey, Hollywood isn't the dream you think it is. If real, authentic storytelling is going to be saved, they believe it's going to be saved by indie films, completely outside the studio system. Which brings us to the real heart of this whole debate, because this is about way more than just one actor or one movie, right? This is about two completely competing philosophies on how Hollywood works.
And here's how the commentators really frame her perspective. They see it as a sense of entitlement, a feeling that an artist is owed an audience instead of having to go out and earn it with a story that people actually want to see.
And that leads directly to their main point, personal ownership. You have to be accountable. They're saying creators have to own the outcome, good or bad. Whether it's a massive hit or a total flop, that's on you. So when you strip everything else away, this is the core conflict we're left with. You've got the systemic view, which says the whole system itself is rigged with barriers, and then you have the accountability view, which puts the ultimate responsibility right on the creator's shoulders to connect with an audience.
And that's really the big question this whole debate leaves hanging in the air, It highlights this massive divide in how people think about art and business in Hollywood today. When a movie doesn't work, who's really to blame? A broken system or the storyteller?